Hey, I'm sorry I waited till the end of the day because people were just around all day and I'm super busy. So we're just getting to nighttime here. The lighting is not great, but it'll have to do. Ah, how's everybody? Here, things are still kind of euphoric, a little bit euphoric. There's like a bit of a sense. Of course, people are getting used to it very quickly, but every day, there's just more good news about these amazing hostages that have come back from the dungeons, the depths, the darkness. So bad. It was so bad. So more and more stories are being unearthed about how bad it was, but also such heartwarming, amazing videos of what these people are talking about, and they have strong voices and they are standing on their 2 feet and they have amazing spiritual messages to give over to the Jewish people. It's like insane. They have become leaders, they have become teachers. Even the most fragile looking among them, skinny and emaciated and so weak, but I'm telling you, so strong in spirit. I'm sure you know, because how could you not? I mean, thank God it's a global village. Like, we are all in the same world and we have the same Instagram and the same YouTube. So it's just insane. It's amazing. They're going to concerts together. I was telling my friend that the one thing that I do, everyone's saying, yeah, but you don't know how they're doing really, and stuff is going to come up, and how are they really ever going to get over it? And it's such trauma. And it is such trauma. No question about it. But as I was saying last week, let's just be happy, okay? How about that? And let's just manifest that reality that Hashem did a tremendous tremendous miracle, and he will continue to do tremendous miracles. And I think that what is encouraging is that they have a whole group. There's 20 of them. There's really 50 of them or 60 of them or even 100 or 200 of them who originally came out of those tunnels. So, and have been, in some form or another in this Hamas captivity. But there's a whole group of them who just came out, these 20, who are alive and kicking and smiling and laughing and so incredibly enveloped by their brothers and sisters and their families and their extended family of the entire nation, being so overwhelmingly like hugging them all the time and dancing and singing and raising these flags and just like welcoming them to the hospital, welcoming from the hospital to their homes, to their communities. I'm telling you, all of the nation, it's like you actually can get a glimpse of what it's going to be like when Mashiach comes, because all of the Jewish people are going out on the streets and dancing. It doesn't matter if you're leftist, if you're rightist, if you're non-religious, if you are religious, if you're Dati Leumi, or if you're Haredi, or if you're Yeshiva boy, or whatever. Everyone is going out and dancing and singing and hugging and welcoming and bringing gifts. It's like you see them not believing what's going on. Not believing. They're like, we didn't know. We didn't know we had a whole country behind us, a whole nation that's our family and that loves us. And that love just has to be so healing. It's just like such a moving time. It really is. Okay, so that's on one hand, of course. And on the other hand, of course, there's still, some stuff going on. There's still a rift in our nation. There's still a lot of fixing that we need to do among ourselves. To heal these rifts in the Jewish people. There's still really a war going on. There still is Hamas out there. They have not really disappeared overnight, as much as we would like to believe that, and as much as we would like to, believe Trump that he's going to open the gates of hell. All hell is going to break loose, blah, blah, blah. Great. Yeah. I mean, for sure it could happen. Like I said, I could believe anything, but it ain't happening yet, and a couple more soldiers have been killed. So it's like they're breaking the ceasefire. There's still anti-Semitism in the world, which actually I think is a gift, thank God, because it just shows the Jews that, guess what, we're not in our homeland. and we're not that comfortable, and we can't just ignore the fact that God has a huge plan, and it does not take place in France or England or United States of America, or Canada. For sure, not Canada. Anyway, moving right along to the Parsha. And let's see if we have some hints as to what is going on in our times. So at the end of last Parsha, which was Bereshit, which was Genesis, just the beginning of the world, the creation, right? So it was really quite amazing, and let there be light, and things were really building up, creating. And at the end of the Parsha, 10 generations later, everything was falling apart. And God actually says at the end of last week's Parsha, unbelievable, and I think I talked about this last year, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Ki nichamti ki asitim. I regret that I made this world, or I regret that I created this man. It's insane to say such a thing. If it weren't actually written in the Torah, I would never be able to say it. Okay, but it says like this: Vayar Hashem ki rabba ra'ata adam ba'aretz. Hashem sees that everything is really bad in this land, in this country, in this earth, on this universe. V'chol yetzer machshavot libo rak kol hayom vayinachem Hashem ki asa et adam. And his yetzer hara, or his thoughts and his urges, are just to do bad all day long. And Hashem actually regretted that he created man. Vayit'atzev el libo. And he was sad. Hashem was sad. What? Hashem was sad? Hashem is not a person. What does it mean he was sad? What does it mean he regretted? He knew exactly what he was doing. What the heck is going on? Okay, so I don't want to talk about it too much because I did talk about it last year, and it was kind of a depressing time, I remember, a year ago. And I was kind of more talking about regrets and what that actually means, and I'm not even going to go into this so much anymore, but the bottom line here is that it can be that Hashem, of course Hashem does not actually regret and does not actually get sad, because Hashem is infinite and Hashem doesn't have emotions like we do, but it must be a message that he's telling us that even God can make mistakes. Okay, I don't want to say that's true, because obviously it's not, right? But what does he mean? Hashem is telling us, yes, you can actually understand that to a certain extent, I had a plan. I thought it was going to be great. I thought everyone was going to sit there in Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden. What I had in mind is that everyone would bask in Hashem's presence, and that, we would just bring a tikkun. We would fix the world in 2 minutes and call it a day, live forever, bask in Hashem's presence, and it's going to be Olam Haba. And it didn't work out that way, because right away, as soon as I give man free will, everything gets messed up, because I'm giving him a level of independence, and I'm not going to take that away from him no matter what he does, and he can choose evil. And in fact, that is what he's doing, choosing evil over and over and over again. So already from the first moment of creation, or from the first few hours, since Adam had a choice to do bad, he did bad. And then things just snowball and get worse and worse and worse, to the point where it's just like this world cannot exist anymore. So in this week's Parsha, this is 10 generations later, and Hashem just says, you know what? We got to get rid of this world. And it's interesting. It's not personal. I mean, it is, obviously, because the people that were killed and the world was destroyed. But it's almost like Hashem's like, listen, I'm not giving a punishment. It was a strange punishment, because the whole entire world was destroyed, including babies and children who obviously had no choice really to do evil. And what does it mean? Rak kol hayom. It's only bad, only bad. It's exactly the opposite of the song that we sing these days in Israel. It's like such a great theme song. Od yoter tov ve'od yoter tov. It became a theme song. It became better than Hatikva. Everybody sings it, non-religious, rest religious. It's a Breslevi song. It's been written by Rav Arush. Rav Arush is a big Breslever rabbi. And it's so popular. It's like this alone tells you that Mashiach is coming, when your non-religious, so like non-believer almost, friend leftist, liberal, doesn't like anything that's going on in this country, is so mad at everybody and is so hateful, really. And they go around singing, Yetov, Od Yoter Tov, it's going to be great, everything's going to be great. And Hashem only loves you, and Hashem's only going to do good stuff for you. It's like insane. Why am I saying this? On the opposite side, the world is so bad in this case that you can't let it exist. It's sort of imploding on its own. It's almost like a natural consequence of this such a bad situation that I need to start over. I need to get rid of these people, and then I need to start the world over. So and also many animals died, and the world itself was corroded, it actually was destroyed, the earth. So how could that even be, and why does that happen? And again, I don't want to go into the reason why it happened, because this is not a judgment of what the people did, although it does say Hamas. It does say that Mal'ah Haaretz Hamas, which is such a strange word, and it doesn't really exist anywhere except for in the Torah when it talks about this sort of despicable immorality that you can't even describe it. It's so bad. And it basically is a catch-all phrase, Hamas, for every sort of evil. And for this particular evil, that I just can't, Hashem just said, V'hinei nishchata, the world is corroded, the world is destroyed. It's already destroyed. I can't continue on with this world if it is so distant from me, from Hashem. And it is so bad, and it's just almost like a magefa. It's like a plague that you just sometimes have to get rid of, even the mattresses and the sheets and the beds, and not because they did anything wrong, but because they are infected. They have these atoms, these molecules that are so evil in them or so sick that you just have to burn everything, in the bubonic plague or whatever, you had to burn the house or something, or you burn everything that had some kind of contact with this bacteria that was so strong. So that's kind of what Nesiva Shalom is saying here, is that there is such evil and impurity, and I don't even know the word. There's a word that it just corrodes everything. It's just you have to destroy it. But at the same time, and this is beautiful, that at the same time, you have this idea that there is a Tevat Noach, that even in all this terrible defilement of the world, and that we just don't even know what to do about it anymore, and there's no choice but to just get rid of it and start over, there's a Teva. There's a Tevat Noach. There is an ability to go into an ark, and for Noach to be saved and his family to be saved, even though they were part of this. They were part of this universe that was not really worth saving. And it had become corroded, and it was imploding, and it wasn't even kedai to keep going here. But at the same time, Hashem said, you know what? But I am going to save Noach and his family. Just by the way, not necessarily because they even deserve it, but because Noach matzah chen beinei Hashem. Because Hashem decided, you know what? I like Noach. So I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna make sure that I save the animals. I'm gonna save him and his family, and they're gonna go into this teva, this ark, and they're gonna do chesed all day long to fix the world. They're going to do chesed all day long. They had to constantly feed the animals. There were so many animals and so few people. And so they had to constantly feed the animals. So they were dealing with chesed all day long from morning till night. And if they didn't do that chesed, they would get bitten by the animals. So there was no choice. And they were there for a year doing chesed. So says Nesiva Shalom, 3 things really, Tevat Noach today, we can, hold on a second. There are 3 things that the Teva represents these days, meaning 3 things that protect you from this kind of defilement and horror and destruction. And even when the world looks like it's all destroying around you, there's 3 things that you can go into and be safe and be protected and maintain your integrity and your inner purity. And those 3 things, he says, the Teva represents 3 things. One is Shabbat. if you think everything is just horrible and being destroyed around you, the way to be protected and to kind of save yourself and to be in this like sheltered place is to go to Shabbat. Meaning on Shabbat, we have this way of leaving everything behind, leaving all the evil, leaving all the distractions, and really being able to focus on our relationship with Hashem, which is really what matters. Secondly, it's Torah. It's learning Torah. Okay, so as soon as you are able to just shut out the world and all the insanity and all the terrible people and everything that they're saying that's horrible and wrong and insane, and you just learn your Torah and you learn your emet and you figure out what is the truth really and what does Hashem want of me and work on yourself. Those are the kinds of things that help and that protect you from all the craziness. And lastly is Achdut Yirei Hashem, unity among people. He says that those three things protect you, and unity among Jewish people, Yirei Hashem, Jewish people. And I was just talking to my friend Lori Palatnik, the famous Lori Palatnik. We were at a bris. My other friend, Andrea Mazal Tov, had a grandchild, and I went to the bris, and Lori was telling me about this new initiative that she's doing called Achayot Lachosen, Sisters of Resilience. And she's really trying to do a grassroots movement that brings all parts of the Jewish nation together. Leftist, non-religious, national religious, and Haredi religious, meaning like ultra-Orthodox people who don't necessarily send their kids to the army. By the way, there's so much going on there. I can't even get into that, but there's so many things that are going on behind the scenes. So if you see a lot of, supposedly ultra-Orthodox people who are not going to the army, you should just know that it's not necessarily true. And there's a lot of things going on under wraps that is changing the face of the Jewish people. So that's number one. But number two, she's putting all these people together, all these women, dafka through women, she said, that they're all getting together, all three in three categories, and we're going to do chesed for each other, but specifically for people who were affected by the war and specifically have injured people in their family, injured soldiers in their family. And each of these families is going to have 6 women appointed to their family, not obviously like barging down the door and bothering them and asking them what they need, but like one of these 6 women who could be either non-religious, national religious, or ultra-Orthodox is going to find out what is it that this family might need. And the 6 together, each 6 that are appointed to this family are going to go about making it happen. Whether it's like a renovation on their house to enable a person who is no longer, who's like disabled, who can't like go into a specific bathroom or a tub or whatever, fix up the house, do whatever it is that needs to be happening. So anyway, it's just amazing that she's doing all these things. Obviously, she does a lot of things, but I was just so excited to hopefully help her. I'm going to help her a little bit, along with a few other things I'm doing. And together, we women are going to bring the Geula, and it's going to happen with Shabbat, with learning Torah, with just unity and chesed. And we're going to rebuild this world. And even after the destruction, there is always hope, and there's always a future, and there's a tikkun. And in the end of the day, v'noach matzah chen b'nei Hashem, Hashem loves us, and that's why He's going to save us. And I just really see that we are moving in a really, really good direction. And it is finally, at the end of days, coming to a good conclusion. So even though Hashem is like a little bit regretful at the beginning, 10 generations in, I hope that He is turning around full circle and coming to realization that we are going to be an or lagoyim, a light unto the nations, and we are going to do what we were meant to be doing. And it is happening. It is happening, ladies. Have a good Shabbos.